Welcome back to V8 Creative and part 31 of the Ultima RS build, and on this episode I'm going to share with you a rather extravagant upgrade and also focusing on prepping the side pods. Welcome back to the Dean Den, and yes, it is part 31. It's amazing, isn't it? And I would say with the Ultima RS build, I'm probably just over halfway. So those of you that have been following from the beginning, thank you. And I'm pleased a lot of you like the content because I know with the thumbs up I'm receiving. Now, before I jump into this episode, I want to share with you a rather extravagant upgrade that I've had fitted since the last episode. Now, those of you that have been watching from episode 1, and thank you, what you remember is I went through all the options I chose. Some of them I skipped and subsequently added them, but this one, this particular option, I wanted from the get-go. But I forgot to tick the box on my order form. And even worse, this is a factory fit option. I tell you. And what this upgrade is, it is the leather covering on the full roll cage. Now, okay, I'm sure a lot of you out there going, what? However, when you sit in a cockpit of any Ultima, especially the RS, that roll cage that sits around you is absolutely a piece of art. Yep, it's there for safety, but what it does is it tells the driver and passenger you are just about to experience one of the most insane automotive environments on the planet. Now, to enhance that roll cage, what Ultima do is at the factory they have professional trimmers come in and actually apply soft leather that matches the dashboard leather or the leather on the seats, depending which way you go, and also contrasting stitching to match that on the rest of the interior, and for me that's red. So I've had sleepless nights about this, I tell you. However, since the last episode, some little pixies have come into my garage, and yep, the Dean Den has been home for a miraculous miracle, and now my roll cage, as you can see up there, is beautifully covered in soft leather. We'll say no more how that happened. It will never happen again. However, I am so pleased. So let's move on to spannering. So on this episode, what I'm going to do is remove the side pods and mask and spray again, but it's all attention to detail. And what I'll do is I'll show you what I've done in fast speed so you can appreciate the amount of effort to get this just right. And then my focus is going to be on the driver's side luggage bin. I know it sounds really odd, but when that side pod is off, it gives me great access to one, thread through the large loom. And what I mean by that is the engine loom. You'll see more about that later. So if you get scared about electrics, just hang on in there. And next, also the little pull cables that I must say, they look really cool, which actually delatch the front and rear canopies. So what's next? Well, let's just go to side pod heaven. Welcome to my side pod removal part of this episode. And in fact, removing these is very straightforward, and probably one-man job because this doesn't look particularly heavy. Anyway, the first thing you have to be aware of after the body prefit when you remove these panels is that during the body prefit process, Jeff has actually put on very small spacers at the location points of this onto the chassis. What I've done is I've taped them in place so I know exactly where they go, because otherwise I'm just going to lose all the alignment, which would not be good. So the rivets I need to drill out, there's two at the back, and I've done those already actually, they're behind that rear wheel. and I've just put skin pins in to hold it for now. And then underneath there's just 2 or 3 rivets I have to drill out, which I'm going to do now. And then this whole panel should just slide off. Well, let's just see if it works. So I'm just going to go under here. I'll be back in a minute. Oh, whoa, oh, okay, well, that's clearly come off now. Right. And there we are. It's as easy as that. It is a one-man job, this. They're not very heavy at all. Don't you just love it when a plan comes together? Okay, now the other thing I need to mention is if you see down here, there's a mark. Now that mark has been made by Jeff when he was doing the body pre-fit. And where this is this is where the tank actually sits. And the reason why that's important is between the tank and here we have foam, and also here we have foam which they call a vapor seal, and that needs bonding onto the fiberglass. And here we are, the last 2 panels that need painting, and then I can get rid of all this mess. Anyway, you saw how easily they came off, and to be honest, they're very light, they're very easy to manoeuvre. So the process here, I'm going to hoover them out. I'm going to transpose these marks, because when I paint them, they're just going to disappear. And then we're going to do a load of masking. And finally, that last spray. Anyway, I'm going to speed this up, because you don't want to see me doing all this masking. Anyway, see you in a minute. All done. Next, degreasing. Yes, it's box unwrapping time again, and unfortunately I've got to do it on the floor because my disassembly area or my unpacking area over there is full of body panels. I've just got no room in the Dean Den now. Now, in this box here, which we'll open now, is the engine loom, or the engine harness, whatever you want to call it, which is for me, for the LS3. So let's just get the packing out. Now, if you get scared when you see wires, just look at this. You probably can't see it that well because you're too far away, but let me pull this out. This, like, ball of spaghetti. Pop that under there. Now, it's quite amazing really when you think that this just keeps the engine alive. It basically talks from the ECU to the engine, it reads from sensors, it also feeds to the instrumentation, etc, etc. Now, as always, Ultima have provided labelling on every single termination, and all these terminations will just plug into the necessary boxes. Now, the reason I've got to start installing this now is because this loom feeds through the driver's side luggage compartment, and also this is where the ECU sits. Now at the moment I've got lots of access to this, and that's why I'm doing it now, because once I put the carbon fibre seal covers on and the side pods back on, it would be more difficult to work in that area. So what I've got to do now is lay this out, understand which bit of this loom goes at the front of the car and which bit goes at the back, and at the back I'll just tie up, and the front I'll route loosely. I may cable tie a couple of things, but really what I'm more interested in is this area here. Right, just give me 5 minutes and I'll figure out where all this goes. Battery, right, battery. Okay, this is at the front of the car. So OBD port, fuses, ECU, and this then goes to the front of the car. Woohoo! So we have another box here, and this is called Engine Accessory Parts. Now, this is probably a very good time to mention I was one of the very last builders of the RS that actually had the option of buying the engine and engine ancillaries directly from Ultima. Now, if you are to order a kit, you're asked to source your own engine ancillaries. And why is that? Well, to be honest with you, when you're sourcing the engine and parts, they're just standard GM parts. So if you imagine, if you're an American customer, Ultima buys the parts from America, ship them to the UK, and then they're shipped back, which is complete madness. It really, really is. And also if you're in the UK, for example, there are outlets that sell these crate engines, and if you want to tune them, you can. It's not a problem. So Ultima is still standing by the Chevrolet crate engine route, but you'll have to source them yourself. So I was one of the last few to get all this kit in boxes. Now, let me just open this. I don't even know what's in here. Engine accessory parts. Let's see. Okay, what have we got? We have got a nice silicone tube. We've got the K&N filter, MAF tube and centre, mass airflow. We have, what's this? I don't know what this is. Let's have a look, shall we? Engine sensor of some sort. Actually, I think they're probably, there's two of them. Yeah, they're O2 sensors. They go in the exhaust, and this is the brain. It's almost as big as my brain. Well, in the box it is. And it's this, what I'm looking for, because this sits in there. Should we open it? See what it looks like? Yeah. Let's have a look. And there it is. Genuine Chevrolet GM. And these are the 1, 2, 3 connectors. It's got bolt points to bolt it down. This here, this finned area, this allows it to cool. Because I guess the processor in there may be more than one processor, gets rather hot, I guess. A bit hot under the collar when telling the engine how fast to go. Anyway, let's pop that away. And what we're going to do now is open up the holes to allow the loom to pass through this luggage container. Well, I must say, that was like threading an anaconda through the eye of a needle. Well, I've done it now. I think I need a bit of a rest. Oh, blimey. Well, the loom's in now. The only thing I need to check with the factory is exactly where the ECU sits, but the hard work's done. The holes I've elongated. I'm going to put grommets on those now. I'll split them, put them on, and then put a bit of sealant around them so they're secure. So the next stage is for me to put in the front and rear pull handles for releasing the front and rear clamshells. So a bit of unpacking, I think. Release cables. Now, before I open this, you're probably thinking, what is this block put here for? Well, the reason I put these blocks on either side, it's for the front clamshell to rest on, because when the centre section is over there being sprayed, this would just dangle in midair, really. So let's open this. I've got Rufus down here, so let me just angle you down. And Oops, oh sorry. Smacked him in the face. Sorry. So these, 1, 2, I have to drill 2 holes in the end here for these to go in, which is pretty straightforward actually. Now I know Ultima on their portal give me an exact measurement for this, so hang on, I'll go and get it.
Leaving this place, the sun's about to break. You're riding shotgun. The feeling we chase, I'm wide awake. Take me away now. 'Cause I won't go down the same path again now. No, I'm running out of air, so let me catch my breath. Feeling like that's making me crazy. If I'm having a good time, don't you blame me. Yeah, this feeling I've got's making me crazy, making me crazy. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. I'm just gonna drive. Wherever we go, we're taking control. The future is ours now. The road never ends. It's me and my friends. These are the good times.
So there you have it. I'm sorry. That was a bit of an abrupt end, wasn't it? But this week has been so busy for me, and I need to get this out for the Friday 5:30 posting time, because I know a lot of you out there just wait for it when you get back from work, crack open a beer and just chill. Anyway, what I'd like to do yet again is to say thank you for all of you out there watching. And if you're watching now, you actually are one of my true fans watching all the episodes. And the comments, keep them coming. I'll answer them all, and some of them, I must say, have been rather intriguing lately, and I will do a Q&A session in the future. So on that note, all I can say is keep tuned, thank you for your support, and just enjoy spannering.